It looks like a lot more manufacturers want to replace the success of Tesla with electric cars, and right now, Mazda is showing up with a crossover SUV called the MX-30. But this particular EV just offers 100 miles of range on a single charge. Well, this is 2021, and the 2022 model from Mazda offering just 100 miles of range has raised a lot of eyebrows. So what exactly was Mazda thinking when they launched the MX-30? Hey car enthusiasts, welcome back to our channel, Space TechZone. We know that electric cars are the future when it comes to personal transportation, and soon with commercial transportation as well, and it makes a lot of sense for companies to invest in electric vehicles moving forward. Mazda has taken a very bold step with the MX-30. For starters, the MX-30 is a vehicle that comes with modern styling, but with a very updated spec sheet compared to the electric vehicles that we have today. So you might be thinking that could be a bad thing. Well, it depends on who you are and how you want to use your vehicle, and we'll explain that towards the end of the video. It looks like Mazda is a little too late to the electric vehicle game, but that's not a bad thing. The Mazda comes with a beautiful interior, a stylish exterior, excellent driving dynamics, all of which made Mazda famous in the first place. But Mazda did not take advantage of electric motor torque and power delivery to create a truly sporty compact SUV. Instead, Mazda focused on creating a very practical crossover SUV for those who just want a reliable commuter. It makes a lot of sense because not everybody wants to drive fast cars, especially if you're going to get stuck in traffic anyway. It doesn't even matter if you have the fastest car at that point. So you might be wondering, could you get the Mazda MX-30 everywhere right now? Well, that's not the case, because Mazda would only be making 560 vehicles available in the US, and that too only in California. Sorry to disappoint you if you stay outside California, but again, we don't think you need to be disappointed either. Mazda stated that there would be a lot more cars next year, but we don't know how many of them. Maybe for Mazda, the whole MX-30 thing could be just an experiment. Now let's talk about the driving dynamics, because this one happens to be a tightly sprung vehicle for Mazda with a firm ride, and it does happen to have a lot of characteristics of a Mazda because of its sporty driving dynamics. Now, sporty does not translate to being fast because the car can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 9 seconds with the 143 horsepower electric motor that drives the front wheel while producing 200 pound-feet of torque. All this is powered by the vehicle's 35.5 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery. The output is quite solid, and the acceleration is steady, but again, not too slow. The best thing about the MX-30 has to be the fact that this drives just like every other Mazda out there, and being in the driver's seat gives you a connected driving experience. Again, this is not the fastest car out there, but it's fun to drive because of its commanding seating posture. The exterior design of the Mazda looks quite futuristic, especially with its door design with a hinge at the rear for the rear door. This means opening the doors of the Mazda is quite different from most vehicles that we have today. The overall design might not be the most exciting design out there, and it looks a bit too plain for most people. When it comes to interiors, the MX-30 is fairly comfortable for its passengers, with plenty of room in the front seats and enough room at the rear. The MX-30 gets a list of features like heated front seats, a powered moonroof, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, and all these come as standard. You also get keyless entry, a BOSE audio system, and 8-way power-adjustable driver's seat, heated steering wheel, heated power, adjustable side mirrors, and a 360-degree camera. So yes, you do get a lot of features, but again, most of them are just essentials, and you do expect all of these at the price point that Mazda sells this vehicle for. The interior is very well built. It also feels a lot more premium, and this is a place that you would love to be in. The seats are good, and Mazda's scroll wheel instead of touchscreen continues to be excellent. The thin steering wheel feels delicate but comfortable. Mazda also replaced so many soft touch points with cork. This could be to remind people that Mazda actually started out as a cork company way back in 1920. The seat fabrics are created from partially recycled threads. The door trims are created from recycled plastic bottles, and we think that this is a step in the right direction without making anything feel cheap. Now let's talk about the 100 miles of range, which we know that you would want to know a lot more about. Well, traditionally, people buy a lot more cars than what they actually need. Well, this is not a mindset that's just limited to cars, but we have it with almost everything. Most people only drive about 25 miles a day, so why would you need a car that can go more than 100 miles on a single charge, especially if you're just using the vehicle for your work commute? You do have the option to plug it in at home or work, or both, depending on how you want it to be. If you wanted a lot more range, you could go with Hyundai IONIQ EV or Kia Soul EV for about the same price that you'll be spending with the Mazda for a little more range. However, the interior of the Mazda is still a class apart, and the Mazda might be the better looking car out there and the better driving vehicle, and it also gets away with a traditional door layout. Now, there is something that Mazda is doing completely unique here for those people who are worried about the range with the MX-30. Say you want to go for a road trip, then Mazda has you covered. Buyers who decide to go for the MX-30 as a daily driver will have access to Mazda's larger vehicles. MX-30 owners will be able to drive other Mazda vehicles for up to 10 days per year for the first 3 years of ownership as part of this unique program. So for those people who are worried about the range, that's how Mazda deals with it. But why exactly is Mazda just importing about 560 MX-30s, and that too just made available in California? Well, Mazda clearly knows that this is not a car for everyone, considering the fact that the majority of American consumer lifestyle is quite different, and most of the people go for long drives, which is exactly the reason why Mazda also gave us an option to use any other Mazda for 10 days per year. The Mazda MX-30 is largely aimed at middle-class homeowners who already own another car and can charge their car at home or work every other day. So definitely, this car is not for everybody. It's just for those people who don't travel more than 100 miles. So if 100 miles is just enough for your day-to-day commute, definitely go for MX-30 if you really want to drive an EV, or else stick with your affordable gasoline cars. So let's talk about the prices now. The Mazda MX-30 starts at a price of $33,470, and when you add the Premium Plus package to the MX-30, then the prices go as high as $36,480. You also need to add another $1,175 as destination and handling charges. You also need to keep in mind that you only get the car in California and not anywhere else, that too in a very limited quantity. It makes a lot of sense to have a smaller battery because Mazda does not require to add about 800 more pounds for a bigger battery at a significant price increase, that too for a road trip that you'll rarely go for. So the Mazda MX-30 makes a lot of sense here. The Mazda MX-30 weighs around 3,655 pounds, and if you had those extra 800 pounds of battery, the MX-30 would need bigger brakes, a much more powerful motor, bigger wheels and tires, stronger suspension components, stronger steering wheel components, and a lot more safety components as well. So this extra 800 pounds of the larger battery will quickly become 1,000 or 1,200 pounds when you add up all the other components to cater to the added weight of the car, and you'll be getting a highly inefficient, very expensive Mazda that won't even make any sense to you at this point. Mazda is already a smaller company, and this looks like the best they can do. Mazda did take the MX-30 seriously, because if they didn't want to take things seriously, the Mazda CX-30 is something that Mazda would modify if they wanted to make a random electric vehicle. But that's not what happened with the MX-30, because we got a new bodywork, great driving dynamics, a decent interior, and a cool-looking rear-hinged door. The battery structure of the Mazda MX-30 made the car 45% stiffer than the CX-30, and both cars do share similar parts. And the tires have also been made a lot stiffer to improve rolling resistance numbers and also to reduce rollover through the corners. Mazda did not focus on insane specifications with the Mazda MX-30, but it focused a lot more on the practical side of things. All you need is a car that can smoothly accelerate away from a stop, and that one will give you a more comfortable driving experience. And that's a wrap for today's video. What did you think about this electric vehicle from Mazda? Will the spec sheet bother the EV customers of today who are used to having fast EVs like the ones from Tesla? Do let us know in the comments section below, because we would love to hear from you all.